Recording in progress. All right. So, little more volume so I can hear you better. So, dear devotees, let's begin with our mini Vandana. And together we can say, as we're all familiar, I think, Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaurataje Namaha Hare Krishna. And Jai our Nabadwip deities. Now's the time of the Parikramas, and we're thinking of Nabadwip quite a lot. So Nabadwip deities, Saparika, Shishi Guru, Gauranga, Gandhava, Govinda Sundaju Ki Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rokho Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. All right. I hear sounds outside. We may be joined. I'd be happy to have more devotees here too. I know they're up. Okay, knocking on the door. All right. So Lilavati was banging on the door, so I thought I'd better turn off the microphone. She's a welcome guest. And our Brazilians are usually up. Lilamrita will come. Our Brazilians are usually up chanting japa before Mangalati, so we may expect them to come, or they may be in their japa mode. Here it is 5 o'clock, or now 5:05. Arati is at 6 o'clock. So this hour before for chanting japa, but today, hour before is for being with you. All right. So, and happy to see Gangalila Devirasi with us. And she's still standing in Vrindavan, I think. Oh, the cowshed. No, the cowshed in Nabadwip. She's still standing eternally beside the little house there, chanting her japa. So she's chanting japa as well, just see in her photograph form. So here's Lilamrita Devirasi, all the way from Israel, making a big sacrifice to be here. And so we're happy to have her live with us, as you are all live too. And Savitri Devirasi, just nearby in Basel, Switzerland. Indoors. We are indoors too. All right, so dear devotees, there's a chat. Oh, Gangalila sending Dandavat, yes, so obeisances. Hare Krishna. Welcome to you all. And we are on the third day of Navadvip Dham Parikrama. And as we mentioned before, we are remembering Navadvip a lot because, of course, these Parikrama days were very busy days, but they were very wonderful days in the association of many devotees. And we had lots of organizing to do. And actually, to be quite honest, sometimes when the parikrama goes out from the temple, then now we've got some relief. The temple's empty. And so 1,500 devotees or something have just left from the temple ashram. So we may have duties to do, but we've got a much quieter temple all of a sudden. Okay, anyway, we won't say these wrong thinking views of the ashram, but to be with the devotees is fully consuming activity. All right, Ram Sundar Prabhu, good to see you here with us this time too. I know you're always busy, probably putting the tiles on the roof of the temple yourself. Knowing you, you'll be doing everything there. Anyway, super to have you with us and to have you all with us too. And so today, yes, Parikrama Day goes to Godrumadwip and then around to Harihara Ksetra, Nrisimha Palli, and back to the temple. And as the parikrama, the numbers of parikramis, the people doing parikrama, increased year by year, not only in our temple, but all the way throughout the different temples that are in Mayapur and Nabadwip. So the possibility of crossing the Ganges by boat became more and more difficult because following Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's example, but following Guru Maharaj's example, then the Navadip Dham Parikrama takes place from now. Many temples or several temples, the chief temples of Navadip and Mayapur district. And so we are able to book boats, and we have to do all this in advance in coordination with the local police, in fact, so that different temples don't all try to cross the Ganges on the same day, competing for the boats. So we have to organize things. So we're allowed one day for a mass group to cross the Ganges, and that is the first day, which goes to Mayapur. Yesterday was a short day, simply going to the local places in Koladip, mainly in Koladip, and then headed by the deity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of Gauranga Sundar, installed by, made under the direction of and worshipped by Vishnu Priya Devi Dasi. So this was yesterday, a short day. It comes back well before lunch, actually, or before lunch, basically. And then yesterday would be glorification of Madhavendra Puri, some afternoon program, evening program. And then today, again, reasonably long. The devotees go out, but they cross Gauranga Setu, the bridge which is just close to our temple. That crosses the Ganges, and we think it's a new bridge. When we were first there, it was under construction, was not open. And then presently, then that bridge opened in maybe 1985. Maybe, yes, something like that. 85 or 86 it was opened. And yes, it must be at least by 86. And so we cross that bridge now by foot, of course. And then going over the bridge, turn left, and then we're walking up essentially the other side of the Ganges, but a little bit inland. And so we're going through Madhyadwip into Godrumadwip. And then we go to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house where he lived, and then his bhajan kutia. They're actually both very close to each other, and just near the river Saraswati. The Saraswati flows into the Bhagirathi at these points. So anyway, this is today in traditional Nabadwip. I can't say exactly what they're doing physically today, but we follow Gurudev and Guru Maharaj's plan and program very happily. And so today they'll be out for a long day. They have their lunch at Harihara Ksetra before coming back to Nrisimha Palli, and then most devotees I know, they take public transport back from there. Now there are buses. Now there are probably electric rickshaws. I don't know, but there's rickshaws at least and buses. But it's nice to do the whole Parikrama by foot in the mood of Nityananda taking Jiva Goswami on Parikrama. Anyway, this is just a little thought. We're reflecting about Nabadwip in these days, but the Nabadwip of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nabadwip of Chaitanya Bhagavat, the Nabadwip, gentle Nabadwip, the internal Nabadwip, we can say. I hear more footsteps, but they're not coming in. And Lilavati Didi came as well. I only see the thumbnail, so I couldn't see who's. Maybe we need more light. I don't know. Or I'm taking up all the light. All right. So, Maheshwari had a question, but this is a bit late for her. So probably we'll address her question on Thursday, when she'll join us on Thursday. The question was about Advaita Acharya. But we'll keep that question, and we can ask you, any of you, you may ask a question, and you may ask the question. Oh yes, Sevarupa immediately putting up her hand.
I just want to say, I think Savitri also had a question that we put on hold since last week.
Oh, right. And
since the last
and she didn't reveal the question. She just said she had a question. Yes, well done for remembering.
And that Advaita Acharya question was not from Maheshwari. It was from Lilavati.
Oh, she's from Lilavati. Oh, well, she's here, right here with us. Well, very good. Okay, then, as we have Lilavati right next door to us, we're still going to be kept in suspense as what is Savitri's question. And Lilavati, she can ask her question again. And Paramananda Prabhu, you may give the answer to this question. As you are here, we'll be happy to hear your answer to this. So the question again is?
We know the Advaita Acharya is one of the Panchatattva. But on another side, we know Advaitists have not good Advaita. I don't understand why Advaitist it's not good man.
You said not good feeling.
Yes. Mention not something not good. What is this Advaita?
Okay. Yes.
So, I mean, it's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do hear about Advaita philosophy. And at the same time, we have Advaita Acharya. So it could be confusing. And as we know, in Panchatattva, Advaita Acharya, Nityananda, and Mahaprabhu, they are belonging to the category of Vishnu Tattva. So Baladev and Krishna himself, and then Mahavishnu, also Sadashiva. Expansion of the Lord that actually creates everything, inconceivably so. So this is the position of Advaita Acharya. And the explanation of his name is given by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. It's very simple. Since he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahavishnu himself, Lord Hari himself, we can say, he is called Advaita because he is non-different from him. But because he is engaged in propagation of devotional service, he is called Acharya. So he is the Lord, and at the same time, he is a devotee, a lord in the mood of the devotee. Really, this is a very constant mood through Gauranga Mahaprabhu's Leela. So Advaita Acharya is that person. So in this case, Advaita means he is non-different, Advaita, from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Acharya, he is the one who teaches devotion. And this is explanation coming from the Krishnas Kaviraj Goswami. But in the same time, there is a philosophy called Advaitavada. And Advaitavada is a Mayavad philosophy. It stresses the point that we in the Lord are same, not different. And this is something we cannot accept. Actually, the whole principle of Vaishnavism is completely averse to that idea. And such wonderful personalities as Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they fought against that teaching to establish that they have nothing to do with reality. Especially Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He was very heavy and merciless. We got used to devotees being merciful. But Srila Prabhupada was merciless when it would come to the impersonalists and Mayavadis, leaving no stone upturned. Everything was just completely demolished when he would speak about it, and rightfully so. And in the Shastra we hear how Krishna himself is feeling pain when he is being discussed by these kind of people, by these kind of personalities, saying that he has no hands, he has no hair, he has no nothing. And where we are and him, we're all same, no different. So it's painful for Krishna to hear. What to speak of the devotees of Krishna? For the devotees of Krishna, it's unacceptable, really unacceptable, like physically painful to hear. But it is made very clear, so we don't mix it up. So Advaita, in case of Advaita Acharya, we always say Advaita Acharya. We don't call him anything else. He's Advaita Acharya forever, who is not different from the Lord and who is also teaches the devotion to the Lord. And Advaitavada is Advaitavada. It's Mayavad philosophy. So I think that should be pretty clear. Srila reminds me about one verse Srila Govinda Maharaj really liked. Advaita Vithi Patitaya Upatya Swananda Simhasana Labha Diksha Satena Kena Pivayam Hatena Dasikrita Gopa Vatu Vitena. He's quoting Bilamangal Thakur. Bilamangal Thakur expresses in this verse a special grace he received, and that Advaita has been used. And he's saying, I was a follower and propagator of Advaitavada, the Mayavad philosophy. And I had many followers. My place was quite elevated. But Krishna was so merciful to me. And he is also a very cunning person. He is a cunning boy of Raja. So one day, because of his special mercy and considerable mercy to me, he turned me into his maidservant. And I didn't even notice that. So he is praising the Lord. Anyhow, the other things can be said about it. But now we have. And are you satisfied, Lilavati?
Okay, I understand. It's two words, but the different...
Different meaning. Yes, Sanskrit is a very complex language.
Yes.
One word in context and whatever other words you're using, according to the grammar, can mean so many different things. And this is why there's so many interpretations of the Vedas in general. And this is why we're warned against going in that direction. Like everyone who goes and studies Sanskrit, going in that direction, is already lost. When that comes to mind and person steps on that path, he is already lost. And we heard that description from Srila Govinda Maharaj. Because he will be bewildered. without strong faith, without clear, crystal clear, pure understanding of the Shastra, you're going to get lost in the scriptures by studying Sanskrit, applying the grammar, trying to figure out this word and that word. So our only shelter in this situation is to accept the opinion of our Guru Varga and Vaishnava Shastra, just like in this case, we accepted the opinion of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Otherwise, we'd be saying, oh, he's the preacher of Mayavad. And he did so. He actually did so in order to attract some attention from Mahaprabhu. He wanted Mahaprabhu's grace, but in a very special form, because Mahaprabhu was always very submissive, and he revered Advaita Acharya because he was such a senior personality. So Mahaprabhu would always pay him respects, pay his obeisances to him, praise him as the senior person. But for Advaita Acharya, it was kind of unacceptable at some point. And he's thinking, how am I get some special mercy from him, some chastisement maybe? Why am I always the senior and he's junior and he's always treating me like that? So he come up with, and he tried many different things, nothing worked. Nimai Pandit was still very respectful towards Advaita Acharya. You know, who wouldn't be? And by the way, I have to mention, he was also a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, whose disappearance was yesterday. So one day he decided, oh, I know the trick. Let me preach Advaitavada, Mayavad philosophy. And you can understand Advaitavada, preached by Mahavishnu, Sadashiva, can be very convincing. So his preaching was so powerful that the news started spreading that, oh, Advaita Acharya, suddenly something happened to him. He's not talking about devotion anymore. He's talking about Advaitavada. And when Mahaprabhu heard that, oh, immediately he came, ready to, some sources say, beat him up, even though he was so senior. But he was very angry with that. And Advaita Acharya was so happy because he got some chastisement, a different form of relationship with Mahaprabhu. So it happened. So one may say, oh, but it is in the Shastra. He was preaching Mayavad. Some people can say that. So we have to be very careful and study the whole picture before coming into any conclusion, taking things out of context. So the words of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the words of our Guru Varga, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Saraswati Thakur, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj, they're all describing it in the same way, we can say. And also he was instrumental in bringing Mahaprabhu and Nityananda from Galoka to this world. He was praying, and his voice described, it was like a thunder resonating in the universe. With that kind of eagerness and sincere desire, he was calling for Krishna to descend, to come down into this world. Why? Because he observed the conditions of this world and feeling compassion to everyone. He's thinking that we cannot change anything. We need Krishna here, Swayam Bhagavan himself. Anyhow.
And we also individually may have some feeling about words or expressions, but we also must be careful not to apply that across the board. And it just slightly related, but not directly, is this, that Srila, as sometimes we've had in the past some devotees who've done very wrong. They were in good standing and then they went against Guru Maharaj, etc. And so this is going back in history. And so you'll get a sannyasi's name, which everyone's got this kind of bad feeling about that name, that particular name, because that sannyasi by that name did these wrong things. But interestingly, Srila Gurudev when he's then giving sannyas to a good person, obviously he's giving sannyas to a good person in good standing, he's giving the same name with a different title in the front. And this was noticeable. And I can only think, we didn't ask Gurudev, why did you give that name? But we can see and feel that he gave the name in order that the bad impression connected with that particular name will be
Eliminate.
lost. It'll be covered over by, oh, now we've got such and such Maharaj. I'm not going to give the names because then you have to think like who is the bad person. we only want to think of the good guys. But it happened. I mean, quite immediately, the next person who got sannyas got that name of the person who really had gone away in an unhappy way. So our own impression of names, we have to be a little bit careful. But yes, and Advaita Acharya in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's recorded how his intention to bring the Lord to this world, because only he can rescue it from all the unfortunate circumstances that Kali Yuga had already presented to the people. And then Advaita Acharya, he made some expression, it's there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that I will prove in my name will be valid if I can bring the Lord down here, that I am non-different from the Lord himself. And actually, I mean, I have to say, Lilavati Didi, our impression of the name Advaita Acharya, somehow by Guru's grace and from Srila Prabhupada's time and the Pancha Tattva, we are very happy to hear Advaita Acharya. And he has so many like wonderful pastimes, especially with Nityananda Prabhu. I mean, with everybody, but very affectionate pastimes with Nityananda. And so, the name Advaita Acharya, we don't even slightly associate it with the Advaitavada philosophy, the non-dual philosophy. Yes, Paramananda Prabhu, we appreciate very much your answer. But while we were hearing you, your microphone only is on, but yet we were hearing like the horns of motorcycles. Was that my imagination, or are you playing a recording of Nabadwip and Vrindavan to remind you of that?
No, Maharaj, I think it's your heart. I think by your heart you're walking on the Gauranga Setu, crossing Gauranga Setu now.
Mhm.
Again, it came while you were speaking.
Birds, Maharaj. Maybe this sounds like motorcycles.
Birds. Okay, it's birds. And
Birds,
Zoom is trying to cut them out. Okay.
Birds.
Anyway, your birds are reminding us of the cover of Vrindavan, the cover of Navadip, the honking of the motorcycle horns. Okay. So I think we can't be in suspense any longer. Savitri Devidasi needs to ask her question. And your question is?
Navad, my question is, what is the standard for a pure devotion life?
Oh my goodness. Well, where to begin? I think 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, 13 months of the year, just to be automatically, not forced, but automatically, entirely in love with Krishna, in separation, but thinking of him entirely from the heart and rendering service to him under the guidance of the devotees. I mean, that has got lots of things within it, but pure devotional service means that we really not forcing our way, that actually we're harboring many desires inside of us, but we are forcing ourselves to look in the upward direction. But when, as Gurudev would say, And when we have been captured by the upflowing current, like the river, you know, the river can be very well, a strong river is very strong. You can't fight the current. You can go to the side, one side or another, but you get carried in the current and you're just like a little twig of wood. Wherever the current is going, it's going to go. And Srila Gurudev describing, we need to be caught by the up-carrying current. We must get into that current and not hold on to the bank. Let the current take us. And so we are on a journey in the beginning, and then we are consciously trying to leave aside wrong thoughts that come in our mind, wrong desire to do activity that comes in our mind. And we have to consciously make the decisions to do the right thing. But when we do this consistently and win the battles which the mind is putting towards us, then we are, and that's the stage of sadhana, that's the stage of practicing nicely and properly. And then we become purified. Purified means that those wrong ideas, wrong thoughts that from, first of all, that are in the front of our mind, in the middle of our mind, then the back of our mind, then we didn't even know we had them. They're all buried down deep inside under so many layers. Those are cleaned away. And then it's not a question of, oh, I want to do that, but, I know I shouldn't. It's a question of we only are going with the flow and not resisting the flow, the upward current flow. And then we will find that we're entering a land which was unknown when we are forbidden from entering due to our criminal thinking. And criminal thinking is selfishness. And proper opposite of criminal, I don't know, law-abiding, but affectionate law-abiding consciousness is having Krishna at the center. And Vaikuntha, the early part in Vaikuntha, it is governed by rules and regulations and do the right thing department, but it is still pure. There is not any selfish interest there. But it is Krishna-centered with many rules and regulations. But Mahaprabhu is having the fortunate souls, he's having us jump, like Guru Maharaj says, like an aeroplane. We have to cross many countries to come from Thailand to Switzerland. You can't not cross all the countries that are in between. India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, do your geography. You got to cross all these different countries. But an aeroplane, you cross them hardly noticing, and even not noticing at all, quite likely, that you are crossing all these countries. And so we have a journey, and Mahaprabhu is giving us that opportunity that we don't have to walk, as it were, across Vaikuntha to get up to the higher plane, and then that plane, then that plane, then that, I don't mean aeroplane, I mean that level, crossing all these different levels. But rather, Mahaprabhu is giving this aeroplane, rocket ship, I don't know what to say, but he's giving us this special opportunity to come to Goloka Vrindavan. So the rules and regulations side, we must give attention to that for all of our life and never think, oh, now we are beyond that. But it shouldn't be that we are focusing always on, oh, I want to do that, but I know I should do this. And we will get caught in the up-carrying current, and that up-carrying current is headed by Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, and the devotees connected there. And they have got the whole right to throw us into that up-carrying current. But we have the right, unfortunately, to use our independence to hold on to the shore, to hold on to a rope, a branch, to tie tightly even, a rope to the side. No, I can't leave this material world. So the symptoms of a pure devotee also, we are told, it is difficult for us to judge. That's up to Krishna to say, in the sense of to look at others, and are they pure or are they not pure? I mean, this is not our duty. Our duty is to recognize, to know where there is purity. And in that context in particular, Guru Maharaj says that if we really have faith in a devotee, we've got Guru Maharaj, we've got Gurudev, we've got Srila Prabhupada, we've got Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then who they recognize as a devotee, they are a devotee. That way we can see through the eyes of the pure devotees and accept that. But for us to go around judging others, are they 110% pure, 100% pure, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 1% pure? That's not our duty. Our duty is to look at our own selves and find the wrong in ourselves and correct that. I mean, this is Srila Gurudev's expression. My religion is, this is Gurudev, maybe the exact words, my religion is not to see the fault in others, but to see the fault in myself and correct that. And he would emphasize that. We need to see our own fault and not just sit back and say, yes, I'm faulty. But we need to correct that. We have to work on ourselves. So we're on a journey. And as Guru Maharaj points out, and it's in one of the sermons of the Guardian of Devotion books, that one who actually gets a glimpse of Krishna, like a lightning flash, Guru Maharaj says, he may show himself in a lightning flash way. He may show himself very briefly in reality. But one who actually gets a touch of Krishna, then after that they will naturally have no desire for anything of this material world. They know, it's like, I have seen. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is somebody who was with Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu showed him his Vaikuntha form, and then, or maybe showed him his Goloka Vrindavan, which, by the way, is Vaikuntha, but the topmost part of Vaikuntha. So showed him his form, and then that person, he was just, I have seen, had nothing else to do with this world. So a pure devotee, we cannot push ourselves to be a pure devotee. That's also another matter. We have to surrender to the devotees, and any quality, any capacity we get, it is coming from them. It is their gift, it is their possession, if you like. They have it and they can give it, and hence the connection with the Sampradaya. So, and the qualities of a pure devotee are wonderful, and actually there's a list of the qualities of devotees. And when we read that list, and when we read descriptions in Chaitanya Charitamrita, for instance, about the branches of the Chaitanya tree, the branches of the Nityananda tree, and especially if we also, first of all, well, we read the texts, but in the purports also, you will find there, from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, from Srila Guru Maharaj, from Srila Bhaktivinoda, there are excerpts where Srila Prabhupada is directly translating their descriptions about some of these eternal associates of Mahaprabhu. And by the way, an eternal associate is a pure devotee. So whatever appearance they may have in this world, of the the nature, different nature, that we have to accept that yes, all this can be in the nature of a pure devotee. So a pure devotee, it's not that every pure devotee has exactly the same characteristics. Look at all of Mahaprabhu's eternal associates. It's amazing how playful they are. It is amazing how characterful they all are. And by the way, that's headed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. I mean, who can expect that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who we all pray to, we all try to take shelter of, is so playful, even mischievous, even naughty, you can say sometimes. But I mean, really, it's wonderful. So all of this variety of character in the pure devotees is a wonderful, hopeful thing, that we know that the upper world is full of characters. So if we're a bit of a character, don't worry too much. We're not all trying to become one and the same. I'm only sitting in meditation and I'm with Krishna, something like that. We will find out. This is promised to us by Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. Beyond imagination is the reality of beauty, love, affection of Krishna's land. And Guru Maharaj said, how far can imagination go? We read a book, we read poetry, we get some description, even about the planets. They say there may be life on planet number 9946X22 in galaxy 4498866B55. How much can we imagine about what life is like on that planet? But if we go there, we will see. So that's even materially. But the Vaikuntha world is the reality world, and we really submit ourselves to Gurudev, to Guru Maharaj. Our circumstances, we just pray to be engaged in their service, seva, and that they may be pleased by our service and seva. We don't want to displease them. We want to make them happy. And it's up to them whether we are taken up or not. But we will be in service mood whether we are here or there. This is our position. And to hear about the pure devotee's character is wonderful. And I just mentioned a couple of places in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but all the way through Chaitanya Charitamrita, we will find the pastimes of the pure devotees with each other. Hare Krishna. What do you expect from a pure devotee, Savitri?
I think I expect someone who's like constantly in Krishna's, who's always, it doesn't matter what you do, has always Krishna in mind, like 24 hours a day.
Oh, only 24 hours a day.
25, I'm sorry.
Okay, got it. Have you got load shedding in Switzerland? Looks like the electricity went out.
The electricity went like every few minutes went down. I don't have no idea why.
Reminder of India. You got more of a touch of India in Switzerland than you thought. Let's see. Hare Krishna. Actually, there are beautiful sections. Who can suggest somewhere where there's a beautiful description of devotees? Well, Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tells about what nature pleases him. but so many places.
All the stories from Purana and Chaitanya Charitamrita about devotees.
Yes, all stories. And the listing in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you got the listing of the qualities found in the Jiva soul, the pure Jiva souls. And then the qualities found in Vishnu, then finally the super excellent extra qualities found in Krishna. You have a question? Okay, Lilamrita has a question, and you can ask in Russian if you like.
Тут есть.
Мы вчера обсуждали с не обсуждали, а просто перед сном затронули тему ритвиков. Вот хотелось бы послушать, что это такое.
So they were discussing the meaning of the ritvik. So they wanted to hear a little bit more on that theme. What it means in general when the ritvik is acting, when all the details, when the power of attorney is withdrawn. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, yes. Actually, you may be the best to do it because in Russian, but the trouble is the rest of us don't know Russian. Well, except Anutama Devidasi, Nadia Priya Devidasi. But you just mentioned like the power of attorney. This is a fairly good example, and an example that Gurudev has given, that the power to connect someone else on your behalf, then this is Ritvik. And it was very limitedly done in the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And one of them was Aprakrita Prabhu, meaning who became Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj when he was in Europe, then as a special opportunity to link, to connect the Westerners in the current, then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave him that power of attorney, that empowerment, that those who you connect to me, then, or those who you give connection, then I will consider them that is connected to me. And the Ritvik can be for a specific circumstance, or it can be in general. In other words, on the government's behalf, some minister will act and be representing the government, connecting to the government, appointing, they can appoint others into the government. And that can be in a general way, and it can be in a specific way, that an ambassador, somebody is sent for a specific occasion to be a specific representative of the government, spokesman for the government, can sign the deals for the government, can connect people in this way. But the Ritvik process, this is while the Guru, the Acharya, is living. And this Srila Guru Maharaj made clear when there are some section of people after Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's disappearance, then everyone is young, they're trying to think, well, how to continue. And some had the opinion, well, we will initiate on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada in his time, he had that system. Others were acting as his Ritvik by his authority, or his authority means empowerment. Oh, are we going to need a Russian translation? Okay, anyhow, yes. So I'll just finish on this point. And that is that some were saying, then we will initiate on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, even though he's passed away, in the sense that, well, we know that Srila Prabhupada is always living, and he said while he was living, you can initiate on my behalf. So then there is some section which may still be continuing today, who consider them the Ritvik section. They are giving on behalf of Srila Prabhupada and they are not the Guru. But Srila Guru Maharaj explained that this is not the correct way. This is not the reality. This is thought up, somebody's idea. And so when the Guru is living, he can have somebody connecting on his behalf. But when the Guru has passed away, there needs to be a living Guru whose current is being passed on. So this is, I mean, a little bit of a summary of the Ritvik process. And somebody can be appointed as a Ritvik, and then that can also be removed. It doesn't, the minister, someone can be appointed as the minister of whatever it is, but then doesn't mean that for the next 60 years he's going to be the minister. He may be, may not be.
It reminds me Harihara Maharaj when he gave sannyas for Govinda Maharaj after he he was retrieved by Govinda Maharaj.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, there's a very good example that just came up, and maybe I'll express it just so that it's easier to express. But after Srila Guru Maharaj, in an exceptional case in the whole history of spiritual succession, after Srila Guru Maharaj, more than 2 years before he passed away from the world, Guru Maharaj gave the chair, the guruship, the management, the everything. He gave everything to Srila Govinda Maharaj, very publicly, at the most public time possible. He gave that at the Gaura Purnima time in 1986. And after that, Gurudev sometims is traveling. He's in other places, not only in the temple. He's got duties elsewhere too. And Gurudev was not in the temple for perhaps 2 weeks, while some devotees from abroad had come to India and come to the mat and were hoping for initiation. And so this is one case, but there were others too. But this couple, they were about to go back from India without initiation because Gurudev wasn't in the temple. Guru Maharaj was there. And then Guru Maharaj, when he saw the situation, then he gave them initiation and told them, I am acting as Ritvik on behalf of Govinda Maharaj, which is amazing. And Govinda Maharaj likes to tell this story because when Govinda Maharaj came back from, I think he'd been in Calcutta, but he'd been elsewhere. When he came back 2 or 3 days later, after the couple had gone, then Gurudev said, I came to see Guru Maharaj, and always first thing we come to him. And so I saw Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj was sitting there very content in his chair and said to me, I gave initiation as Ritvik on your behalf to these people, as your Ritvik. And of course, that very much humbled Gurudev. Oh, Guru Maharaj giving Ritvik on my behalf. But it is another example of the not political, but absolutely spiritual appointment of Gurudev as the head of the mission spiritually and in every sense. So just another reinforcement which we hope anybody who witnessed the transmission anyhow would have already understood. But there are different incidents like this. So Lilavati, she's pointed this out, that Guru Maharaj was then connecting the devotees to Gurudev, which is, exceptional. Hare Krishna. So this is Ritvik, and maybe some extra explanation in Russian can happen later to help you out with that, if you like. And here's Prapanna Prabhu, he's come to join you. He's come to join you. And Prapanna Prabhu and Lilamrita Devidasi, really they are gems. We see their service, we see their mood, and they came here automatically to help out while we were all on pilgrimage in I don't like to say India, but in the holy places associated with India. While we were on pilgrimage, they came here from South Italy, all the way from the south of the country. They came here, and I think they're now both permanent residents. They fit in exactly. I mean, both of them, each of them individually fit in. They should be in the temple. They are temple, ashram, natured persons, and then as a couple, then even more ashram natured person. So very wonderful. So this is Prapanna Prabhu and Lilamrita Devidasi, his wife.
Dhanyavad.
Speak a little loud. The microphone's over here.
Dhanyavad.
Okay. Hare Krishna. All right. Well, for today, perhaps we'll take your leave because in 30 seconds, it should be starting the Mangalati here. It's 30 seconds to 6 o'clock, something like that. And so we've got half of the Mangalati team here with you on the Zoom. So we better go through and see Krishna and chant the glories of Mahaprabhu, his associates, Krishna and his associates. We must try to think what we are singing when we are in the Mangalati or any arti. Follow the current of Gurudev, and that is to sing with full heart the meaning of what we're doing. So we'll go through. Chintamani just arrived at the door, the waiting room door. We have to give at least a minute to Chintamani. Chintamani Devidasi, we were just going to go to Mangalati. In fact, we can take you all to Mangalati on the computer. Oh, they're being very good. See, good example. They're going to Mangalati. But Chintamani just joined us, and we got to just quickly ask, because she's always mysterious, a mystery person. Where are you, and what is your devotional news within 2 minutes? You have 2 minutes starting now.
Dandavats. I wasn't expecting to speak. I was just doing my skincare routine still. I haven't even put my tilak on. So I wasn't ready to be on camera, but that's okay. I'll give you here's Sri Mayapur Dham today. I'm in my bhajan kutir. Being a sahaja and realizing how fallen and lowly and useless I am. And here we are. They're building another, we hear it's going to be an ashram. But you know, there's all these illegal buildings around here in Mayapur. None of it's only zoned for agricultural land. So, and Parikrama groups are here, and I'm not going in any of them. I'm still processing Puri Parikrama and Nabadwip Parikrama. I'm good, and I'm reading and listening to you all and trying to chant and just work on myself. I'm so over groups. I've had enough extroversion for the entire year. I'm so happy to be alive and so relishing y'all's association. So, Hare Krishna, Dandavats.
Wow, 1 minute, 37 seconds. Very good. Chintamani, happy to have you meet us. And actually, I'll sign off now, as it were, but I'll take the computer, means the camera, also through to the Mangalati, because we can. You can stay a little bit, or you can go, each of you, that's as you wish. But now we'll do our jais. And because so important, Jai to Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Oh, Jai to Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Raka Kshidha, Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai to Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhaga ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Vishwarani Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai to Sri Nabadwip Dham ki Jai. And today especially can think Jai Shri Godrumadwip ki Jai. And Jai Shri Madhyadwip ki Jai. And Jai Shri Koladwip ki Jai. The places they'll visit today on the Parikrama. And Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Nabadwip of Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. And Jai Saparika Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundaju, the deities of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev in Nabadwip ki Jai. And Jai to Shri Saparika Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhavika Gopinath and Giriraj Balagopalju here in Italy. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Vila Govinda ki Jai. And Jai Shri Antadip ki Jai, Shri Mayapodam ki Jai. We are seeing the external side of it from Chintamani, all those tall, tall buildings, and having a bhajan kutir in the sky. Well, well, look and see. All right, all the assembled devotees ki Jai, Paramananda Prabhu ki Jai, each of you one by one, Jai, Jai, Jais, and Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari, Hari Bol. Bancha Kaupatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha.
Jai Srila Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
So I'm going to take you on probably a bit of a bouncy walk through to the temple room. And as I say, you may stay or may go, there's no problem. But I need to just change the microphone so it'll hopefully handle the singing better, because now it'll be trying to cut out any sound which is not voice. All right, so the sound quality probably changed, and let us go through. And here, Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai. And wherever is Gurudev, there is Srila Guru Maharaj too. So Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. And another little altar, many of you know. The temple deities. Oh, not the temple deities. Oh yes, little temple deities, but the main picture being our Holy Trinity, and on this side, then the Nabadwip deities. So this is Srila Gurudev's room, which they allow me to render service here in his room. And let's go through to the temple room. So I'll be quiet now. Parikrama of Sri Godrumadwip and Madhyadwip, Sri Surabhi Kunj, Suvarna Bihar Math, Sri Nrisimha Palli, Sri Harihara Ksetra, and other places. Ki Jai. Jai. Harihara. Jai